Alex Mustard is a big-time, multiple award-winning underwater photographer, and at this year's Go Diving show, he presented the awards for Underwater Photographer of the Year. His images have been published regularly in the BBC Wildlife Photographer of the Year, and in 2018 he was made an MBE in the late Queen's Birthday Honours. So when this man talks about underwater photography, you should listen, and I managed to get some time with him at the Go Diving show this year to ask him a few questions. Okay, so first question. So how did you get into underwater photography? Were you a photographer before you learnt to dive, or did you learn to dive and then get into photography?
I learned underwater photography, first of all. People always think I was just passionate about fish growing up, and I used to go snorkeling a lot when I was a kid, and none of my family went snorkeling. And photography for me was just simply a way to record what I was seeing to share with my family, because they never came in the water. And I was fascinated by all the fish I saw, so it grew out of a passion really of recording. And now I guess I still do the same thing really. I'm just going down there to record amazing things that I see and hopefully get people enthusiastic about what's down there.
Nice. So do you have a personal speciality? Do you prefer shooting macro, or are you more of a sort of wide angle photographer?
I really enjoy both sides of underwater photography. I think the challenge for me is to have a portfolio that has everything from sharks to nudibranchs to shipwrecks to people, and from cold water to warm water. So I really challenge myself to try and excel in all of them. I have to say though that I really enjoy the macro photography myself. I love the intimacy that you have with the creatures, that you have to, really look carefully, tread carefully, around the subjects to get the best behaviour, to get the best opportunities.
You need a good eye as well, because you need to be able to spot that little thing.
And it's like a treasure hunt when you're down there. You never know what you're going to see, and then when you find that amazing subject, it is just, it's a fantastic reward. So yeah.
So let's talk about equipment. What equipment are you using right now to capture that perfect image?
Well, I'm right on the cusp probably of changing actually. So underwater photographers have generally held on to their SLR cameras because the optical viewfinders of the SLR cameras have generally been better than the electronic viewfinders for typical underwater photography. But the electronic viewfinders in the last year or two have just begun to probably overtake. And because they can do so much more as well, the pressure's really on all of us now to consider that big switch. So I think really 2023 will be the year that so many top underwater photographers actually make that jump.
Start to transition.
Yeah.
So do you have a particular white whale? Is there one subject out there that you've always wanted to shoot, but you've just never had, it's always been elusive to you?
Well, so strangely actually, probably the whales actually.
Yeah.
I think I've been very lucky. I've photographed most subjects, and I have photographed plenty of whales, but I've never been a specialist in whale photography, and probably the most photographed whales are humpbacks and sperm whales. And I've never properly done a trip to photograph either. So they're my wish list creatures.
So what's your best advice? So if you could go back into time and meet the younger self, what would you tell the younger self?
I think I'd let my younger self enjoy their development through the career. I would never have believed as a younger me that I would be able to take the pictures I take. I remember looking in the books of those days and thinking, wow, I'll never be able to take even one shot that good. And obviously with the march of progress of technology, those books now, I would delete all those pictures if I ever took them. And I think that would just blow my mind. But I wouldn't want to spoil it. I think the fun of it is that, everything constantly moves, and, the pictures I'm taking now, in 15 years' time, I'm sure I'll think, second rate.
So what's your favourite location to shoot? Do you have a particular go-to dive site?
Again, I think because I challenge myself to be able to do all the underwater photography, I really like everything. And, my last few trips have been, to Canada, to Norway, to northern Norway, to Indonesia, to the Caribbean. So I think that for me, I like that diversity. Yeah. I like that ability to go to one place and really be passionate about what I'm shooting there, and then on to the next place.
And finally, post-processing. What's your go-to post-processing software and why?
So I think most of us underwater photographers, we really like Lightroom because it's quick and easy. And I don't think anyone loves post-processing. And I think the quicker you're in and out of doing it, the better. It's a necessary evil.
Yep.
but I much rather be in the water taking pictures than sitting on a computer processing them. And Lightroom is great for that because it's quick.
Yeah. Where can people follow your work and see the amazing things that you do?
So my name's Alex Mustard. So if you search that in Google, you'll find my website very easily. And on there, you can find your way to my Instagram and my Facebook page. But Instagram, I'm Alex Mustard1. On Facebook, if you search Alex Mustard underwater photography, you'll find me there on social media. And I try to post different stuff on my social media to my website. So the website is kind of a permanent record, and the social media is a bit more of a live update.
Yeah.